Good evening, everyone, and welcome for this session. Today we'll be reciting the text called Chanting the Names of the Noble Manjushri. This is one of the practices that His Holiness the Dalai Lama recommended all the FPMT centers to recite, to keep reciting, to create the causes for Lama Zopa Rinpoche to come back. Lama Zopa Rinpoche was the founder of the FPMT, and Tushita is one of the 130 centers, services and projects of the FPMT. He founded Tushita and the FPMT with Lama Yeshe, and Lama Zopa Rinpoche last year in April showed the aspect of passing away. And I suppose most of you know, in the Tibetan culture, when such an enlightened master passes away, it is the tradition to, look for the reincarnation of the master. For example, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, is known as the 14th Dalai Lama, the 14th reincarnation. So we are praying for Lama Zopa Rinpoche to come back in a fresh body, full of energy, to continue to guide us, continue to teach, and continue to lead the FPMT organization, including Tushita Delhi. So before we start, we can do a small meditation. We can start by taking 3 deep breaths. Trying to refresh your attention as you breathe in. And with the out breath, we relax. Now let us look at our posture. If you are sitting on the chair, it is perfectly fine. Make sure you are not leaning against the support of the chair, not leaning too much forward either. Ideally, the back is loosely straight, naturally upright. If you're sitting on a floor, the best is to be in the full lotus posture, meaning with each foot on top of the opposite leg. That might be a little bit challenging. Make sure you're not pushing your body. Make sure you are comfortable. The hands, traditionally we place them in the concentration mudra. So you have your right hand on top of the left. The 2 thumbs are slightly touching, and this rests on your lap. The back is naturally upright. You can imagine there is a string pulling from the crown of your head, keeping your body upright. The arms and shoulders are relaxed. Even though the body is upright, you can easily turn from left to right. And you can also allow some space between your arms and your body for the air to flow, between your arms and your body. The neck is aligned in the continuation of the spine. You can very slightly tilt the head forward, but not too much. You can place your tongue just behind your upper teeth. This helps to reduce the production of saliva while you meditate. Finally, the eyes are not completely closed. We leave them slightly opened, gazing 1 or 2 meters in the space in front of us, about 45 degrees cast down, but not actually paying attention to whatever appears in front of us. We are trying to pay attention to our mental consciousness. You can take as an object of meditation, for example, the breathing sensation at the entrance of the nostrils. Try to place all your focus on that small area, the entrance of the nostrils, and look at the feeling that you can perceive there. Perhaps it's slightly cool as you breathe in, slightly warm as you breathe out. Try to focus on that single-pointedly. Now, as we meditate, we tend to get distracted. There are two main ways we get distracted. The first one is called mental excitement, and the second one is called mental laxity, or dullness, or lethargy. So mental excitement is basically distraction with thoughts, mostly. We are thinking about the past, thinking about the future. And mental lethargy is when we don't put enough application in our meditation. We don't try hard enough to focus, and the mind starts to sink. We have a tendency to fall asleep. This is the mental dullness. So whenever we are distracted with either excitement or dullness, then we lose our object of meditation. So there are two antidotes that we need to train in using. The first one is called introspection. Introspection is a mental factor. So you can imagine like a small part of your mind in the corner, in the background, that is checking, what is my mind doing? Is it focused on my object of meditation, for example, the breathing sensation at the entrance of the nostrils, or is it distracted with thoughts or with lethargy? And the moment this introspection notices that the mind has wandered, is not focused on the object of meditation anymore, then we make use of the second antidote, which is called mindfulness. And the role of mindfulness is to bring the mind back onto the object of meditation and making sure it remains on the object. You can imagine if you have a pet dog at home and the dog runs away from home. Introspection notices that the dog is gone, and mindfulness brings the dog back home, and you can also imagine tying him against the pillar so that he remains there at home. So it's a little bit similar to what we are trying to do with our mind, trying to remain focused on our object of meditation. With introspection, we check, are we focused or not? And if we notice that we are not focused, we apply mindfulness, meaning immediately we bring the object back to we bring the mind back to the object of meditation, and we try to remain on the object for as long as possible. So let us try this meditation for about 5 minutes before we start reciting the text. gently come out of the meditation. Now that our minds are hopefully a bit more focused, let us try to generate a good motivation for this session. If possible, a Mahayana motivation. Mahayana means the great vehicle, and the entry door to that vehicle is called bodhicitta. Bodhicitta means the mind of awakening. It is the wish to achieve full awakening, the state of a Buddha, the state of omniscience, in order to benefit all sentient beings, leaving none aside, not even forgetting the tiniest ant, not forgetting the tiniest spider, not forgetting the tiniest scorpion, not forgetting the ugliest snake, scariest snake. It is a mind that is so vast that it thinks of all sentient beings, all beings who are endowed with a mind that is obscured. A mind that has veils, afflictive and or cognitive veils. The root of all these mental veils is what we call the self-grasping ignorance. This apprehension that we have that all phenomena exist truly, all phenomena exist objectively. We have this impression. We feel that everything exists solidly out there, independently from our minds, that things exist in and of themselves. Because of that, we have a very solid sense of I, me, and we have this impression that this I, this me, is the center of the universe. We feel that I am more important than others. But if we check carefully, this has absolutely no logic behind it. I am only one, others are numberless. Just like myself, absolutely all sentient beings want to be happy. Absolutely all beings want to avoid suffering. So because we apprehend everything as existing so solidly, objectively, the self, others, and all phenomena we interact with. Because we feel we are the center of the universe, and we feel everything we interact with is so solidly there, we also exaggerate the qualities of the objects we apprehend, the qualities or the faults. So because of that, all sorts of mental afflictions arise, such as anger, excessive desire, jealousy, pride, anxiety, depression, and so on and so forth. And because of all these afflictions, the Buddha actually identified 84,000 of these mental afflictions. Because of them, we are constantly engaging in actions that are either non-virtuous, actions that are negative, or actions that are virtuous but contaminated by our deluded minds, apprehending ourselves, the object we interact with, and the interaction as existing objectively. So because of that, anything we do, anything we say is just creating causes for samsaric experiences we don't have any control over. Sometimes pleasant experiences, sometimes unpleasant experiences, all of them within this uncontrolled cycle of rebirth, again and again and again, because of the afflictions and the karmas. Without a choice, we have to experience the results. Sometimes we are born human, sometimes we are born as an animal, sometimes we are born as a deva, as an asura, as a preta. There is no choice from our side. We just experience the results of whatever we have caused. And all the experiences that we have in those lives are also totally uncontrolled. All of a sudden, if it's hot where you are, your fan might stop. Similarly, all of a sudden, your neighbor might come with some nice food. You would have a pleasant experience due to the contaminated virtues you have accumulated in the past. If the fan stops and you feel hot, and pleasant experience due to the negative actions done in the past. So this is the case for us, but also for all beings who are afflicted, all beings who are trapped in samsara, trapped in the vicious prison of the self-grasping ignorance. So knowing this, let us try to generate a sense of compassion for ourselves and all other sentient beings. We can try to give rise to this wish that may all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering, the afflictions and the karmas. Now, since beginningless time, I have circled in samsara. I've had countless lives. And in this one, due to some miracle, literally, I am born as a human, which is extremely rare. I mean, we can see this just looking at the numbers on this planet only. About 8 billion human beings. If we compare this number to the number of ants, for example, these tiny insects on the planet, so many, much more than the humans. In fact, there are countless ants on the planet. So if you compare the two, the chances to be born as a human are so less. And this is only comparing the ants and the humans. But not only am I born a human, but I am born in a world at a time where the Buddha has appeared 2,600 years ago. And the Buddha turned the wheel of Dharma. He gave so many teachings for several decades. And his teachings to this day in 2024 are still very much available, especially in this digital era. With just one click we can listen. We can read the sutras. We can watch His Holiness the Dalai Lama teaching, for example. This is unbelievably fortunate. The conditions we have gathered in the past to have this in this life are incredible. Not only that, but there are many other followers of the Buddha's teachings. So we can have a sense of community, people trying to do the same mental inner work as we are trying to do, trying to study, contemplate, meditate. There are people who can guide us, people who have been studying, like the geshes, like the lamas. Not only that, but there are also many kind people who are supporting the followers of the Buddha's teachings. All the Dharma centers around the world, such as Tushita, exist only because of the generosity of people. Not only that, we also have all our mental, physical capacities. We are interested in the Buddha's teachings. We are interested to look inwards, interested to check why we suffer and how we can stop that. So with all these conditions, all these freedoms, all these leisures and opportunities, we have what is called a precious human rebirth, which is extremely, extremely rare to find, and so precious. It is like finding a beautiful jewel in a heap of rubbish. Because with this life we can achieve so much, we can help so many people, and helping ourselves as well. So considering this, and considering, you can think just about, even not thinking about all sentient beings, you can just consider 8 billion human beings on the planet. I don't know how many millions, maybe 30 millions living in Delhi NCR. How many are here today? How many on Zoom? So very few actually have, even though they are human, very few have a precious human life. Most of the human beings, are busy just trying to survive, making a living, just to have a shelter and food. And even if they are not too busy with that, then they are busy just following, the objects of desire, just enjoying. So many are also busy with sicknesses, conflicts, war, difficult lives. So for all of them, all the humans who don't have the precious human life, all the animals, all the pretas, all the suras and asuras, all the devas, for all of them who are trapped in samsara, who don't have the opportunity that we have at the present moment, let us try to generate a sense of responsibility. I have this opportunity to transform my mind. Therefore, I'm going to do the work of mind transformation, not only for myself, but also for all those countless sentient beings who don't have this opportunity and will not find this opportunity for eons and eons. Especially those sentient beings we have a strong karmic connection with. In this life and recent lives, our parents, children, brothers, sisters, extended family members, friends, students, and so on and so forth. Most of them don't have this precious human life. So therefore, it is as if they are waiting for us to achieve a state where we can lead them, a state where we can guide them to the cessation of suffering and to peerless happiness. Now, how can we do that? I myself am afflicted, I myself am drowning in samsara, I'm stuck in the prison of my own mind, prison of self-grasping ignorance. So how can I help others? If we look in the history of humanity, there was one prince by the name of Siddhartha who showed us the way. He found the middle way path, motivated by this wish to benefit countless sentient beings. He found the exact opposite to the source of all our problems. He found the wisdom realizing the emptiness of objective existence, of all phenomena, including the self, that is the direct opposite to the self-grasping ignorance that we have. And eventually he became known as a Buddha. After repeated reflection and meditation, he eliminated all the mental veils, all the afflictions, and even all the cognitive obscurations. He became known as the Buddha, fully awakened, fully enlightened, and omniscient, knowing perfectly how to guide sentient beings. Let us try to generate the motivation to become like him, to become fully awakened for the benefit of all sentient beings. Try to give rise to this most beautiful mind of bodhicitta in your mind by thinking, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. So with this motivation in mind, we'll engage in the practice, and especially we are also doing this practice so that Lama Zopa Rinpoche might soon, very soon, come back, continue to teach, continue to guide us, and continue to lead the organization. So we can turn to the text. I will share it on my screen. And we can read together. In Indian language, Arya Manjushri Nama Sangiti. In Tibetan, Papa Jampel Gitsen Yang Dakpar Jopa. In English, chanting the names of the noble Manjushri. Homage to the ever youthful Manjushri. Then Vajradhara, ever glorious, supreme subduer of the heart to tame, the hero conquering the triple world, the Vajra lord and master of all secrets, with eyes wide open like white lotuses, his face just like a lily in full bloom, while shaking in his hand repeatedly a Vajra of the highest excellence, accompanied by countless Vajrapanis, with features such as fierce, turbulent brows, subduers of the heart to tame, heroes appearing with heroic, hideous forms, brandishing in their hands their mighty Vajras, the tips of which emit intensive light, great benefactors to all living beings, through skill, through insight, and through great compassion, with pleased and happy attitudes, with joy, their bodies those of wrathful deities, protectors who assist the Buddha's deeds, their bodies bowing reverentially, paid homage to the true awakened one, protector, blessed one, Tathagata, and joining his two palms respectfully, he said before the Lord the following: O omnipresent Lord, for my well-being, with due concern for me and for my sake, that I might reach complete awakening upon the basis of illusion's net, and for the sake of every living being, sunk deep into the mud of ignorance, their thoughts disturbed by various afflictions, so that they may obtain the highest fruit, may you, the most supreme awakened one, the blessed one, the word's guru and teacher, who knows the great Samaya's reality, aware of wishes and abilities, reveal to us the great name, chanting the wisdom body of the Blessed One, the great Ushnisha, master of all speech, the self-arising wisdom emanation, the wisdom deity called Manjushri. These names, with meaning both profound and vast, of great significance, unmatched, serene, with goodness at their start, middle, and end, proclaimed by Buddha of the eons past, and to be taught by the Buddhas yet to come, and taught not once but time and time again by all the Buddhas of the present age, which were respectfully recited in illusion's net, the Tantra most supreme, by multitudes of mighty Vajrapanis, the joyous guardians of secret mantras. Just this I shall uphold with firm resolve, until I reach my final liberation, so that I may become, O great protector, the bearer of the Buddha's every secret. And this I shall reveal to all living beings, according to each one's capacity, in order that afflictions may be quelled, so ignorance may be fully dispelled. With this request to the Tathagata, the master of all secrets Vajrapani, his body bowed, his palms politely joined, then stood before the Lord devotedly. And so the Blessed One, Lord Shakyamuni, the best of men, the fully awakened one, extending from his mouth his handsome tongue, a tongue unmatched in both its breadth and length, displaying a gentle smile to living beings, a smile that fills the threefold world with light, that tames the enemy, the four maras, that ends unwanted birth in all three forms, his voice melodious like that of Brahma, completely filling all the triple world, replied as follows to the Lord of Secrets, to Vajrapani, strongest of the strong: that you, abounding in supreme compassion, and aiming to assist all living beings, are willing and prepared to hear from me this evil-quelling, purifying chanting, the chanting of the names, so filled with meaning, of Manjushri's embodied of wisdom. How truly excellent, O Vajradhara! How excellent of you, O Vajrapani! And so I shall, O Master of all secrets, reveal just that you reveal just that to you most splendidly. With single-minded focus, listen well. How excellent, responded Vajrapani. So truly excellent, O Blessed One. And then the Blessed One, Lord Shakyamuni, surveyed in full the family with great mantras, the family of the Vidyas and the mantras, the family that is threefold by its nature, the family of and yet beyond the world, the family great in brightening the world, the foremost family of Mahamudra, and so the family great with great Ushnishas. And then, about the Lord of Speech, he spoke these verses, which include 6 kingly mantras, which manifest from non-duality, which bear the quality of non-arising. A, I, U, E, O, Am, Stito, Stri, Snana, Murtir, Ayam, Buddho, Buddhanam, Shriya, Pha, Artinam, Om, Vajra, Tikshna, Dukha, Cheda, Prajna, Snana, Murtaye, Snana, Kaya, Vagi, Svara, Aparachanaye, Tenama. And so, he is the Blessed One, the Buddha, awakened fully, born of the letter A. He is the letter A, the foremost phoneme, supreme most syllable, with meaning great, arising from the great vital force, unborn, beyond expression, based on words or speech, the foremost cause of every form of speech, the shining forth of every kind of language, great feast who takes the form of great passion, producing bliss in every sentient being, great feast who takes the form of great anger, great enemy of every mental poison, great feast who is by nature great delusion, delusion's vanquisher for deluded minds, great feast who is in essence great fury, great adversary to all furiousness, great feast who takes the form of great desire, who vanquishes desire in all forms. He is great carnal lust, he is great bliss, he is great happiness, he is great joy, with great appearance, bearing form supreme, with great complexion marked by great physique, with great renown, the great munificent one, his mandala voluminous and great, the bearer of the mighty sword of wisdom, the foremost god for taming great afflictions, possessing great renown, his glory great, his brightness great, his lustrous most supreme, most wise upholder of great illusion, fulfiller of the great illusion's aims, enraptured by the great illusion's rapture, the great illusion's great illusionist, the foremost lord of great munificence, supreme upholder of great discipline, intense supporter of great tolerance, with valor rooted in great diligence, samadhi resting through great meditation, endowed with bodies flowing from great wisdom, both great in strength and great in skillful means, a brimming ocean filled with vows and knowledge, by nature great in kindness, limitless, the foremost mind, enriched by great compassion, of great insight, of great intelligence, great dexterous one, with methods ever great, commanding powers and great miracles, with driving force supreme, with speed unmatched, renowned great lord of foremost majesty, most valorous owing to his great might, destroying the massive mountain of becoming, unyielding, holding strong a massive Vajra, great terrifying lord, the great cruel one, provoking fear in great and daunting creatures, protector of the greatest of all Vidyas, a guru as the greatest of all mantras, traversing well the Mahayana's path, himself the Mahayana's foremost way. He is Mahavarochana, the Buddha, great sage, observing great, intensive silence arising from the great mantra way. He is at heart the great mantra way, accomplished in the 10 paramitas, having the 10 paramitas as home, in whom the 10 paramitas are pure, for whom the 10 paramitas are means, protector, reigning over all 10 grounds, residing steadily on all 10 grounds, made pure in nature by the tenfold knowledge, maintaining purity through tenfold knowledge, with tenfold forms intent on tenfold content, with tenfold strength, pervasive Lord of sages, achieving every aim for every being, endowed with tenfold mastery, supreme, beginningless, complexity devoid, by nature pure, reality in essence, unwavering, a speaker of the truth, with speech and actions perfectly aligned, a teacher of the non-dual truth, non-dual, atop reality's most lofty peak, With selflessness, his white larynx roar, instilling fear in deer-like misled seekers. With journeys fruitful, traveling everywhere, as swift as though in all Tathagatas, a victor, slayer of foes, triumphant lord, a universal king with forces great. Assembly head, instructor for assemblies, assembly lord, assembly chief, the ruler, most influential, bearing precious burdens. Not other bound, his way the greatest way. The lord of speech, the master of expression, more skilled in words, adept with language, truthful, with boundless words, the teacher of the truth, providing teachings on the fourfold truth, not coming back, not turning round, rhino, the leader of the Pratikya Buddhas, gone forth by going forth in different ways, the single cause of all great elements, Arhat, Bhikshu, defilements exhausted, devoid of passion, master of the senses, arrived at comfort, met with security, for he, having cooled down, is free from stains. Equipped in full with knowledge and its base, the Sugata, best knower of the world, not thinking me, not clinging onto mind, established in the system of the two truths. Upon the edge of cyclic life's far shore, with deeds accomplished, resting on a bank, emerging from the untamed, lone awareness, with sword-like insight ever penetrating, the sun, the Dharma king, the noble Dharma, supreme eliminator of the world, the Dharma lord, the sovereign of the Dharma, the teacher of the path to excellence. Accomplishing all goals, fulfilling aims, completely free from wants of any kind, bereft of thought, a non-depleting source, the Dharma source, supreme beyond decay, enriched by merit, merits gathering, unique great wisdom, wisdom rich, aware of what exists and what doesn't, while gathering the twofold gathering, eternal, yogin, king of everywhere, the object of the mind of concentration, the master of intelligent reflection, for by oneself alone is he experienced, immovable, the ultimate beginning, the holder of the three enlightened bodies. The Buddhas formed of 5 embodiments, the omnipresent made of 5 wisdoms, his diadem with 5 awakened ones, with all 5 eyes maintaining non-attachment. The great progenitor of all the Buddha's eminent and foremost son, arising from the world of true insight, the sourceless Dharma source, existence ending, comprised of Vajras, holy dense and firm, the newborn sovereign ruler of the world, emerging from the sky, the self arisen, a massive blaze of knowledge and of insight, illuminating, beacon of great light, a lamp of wisdom, shining brilliantly, a light for beings, a lantern unto wisdom, with energy supreme, most radiant, a Vidya king, the greatest mantra's lord, the mantra king, achieving noble aims, the great Ushnisha, marvelous Ushnisha, the lord of space, revealer of all things, the best embodiment of every Buddha, with eyes the joy of every living being, creator, manifesting varied forms, great sage, deserving praise, deserving worship, a mantrin born into the triple family, upholding mantras of the foremost pledge, the greatest bearer of the triple gem, who teaches all 3 peerless vehicles, with snare unfailing, most victorious, the snatcher ever great, the Vajra snare, the Vajra hook, the snare of excellence, called Vajra Bharava, he is terrific, 6-faced, the king of anger, hideous, 6-eyed, 6-armed, the ever-powerful, bearing his terrible fangs, a skeleton, Halla Halla, 100 faces proud, the Yama killer, ruling obstacles, instilling fear with Vajra impetus, the Vajra-hearted, famous for his Vajra, with belly large, with Vajras of illusion, the Vajra-born, the sovereign of the Vajra, akin to space, his core comprised of Vajras, unmoving, haughty with his single dreadlock, his clothes an elephant's rose hide, still moist, the great terrific one who cries, ha ha, who screams, he he, instilling fervent fear, his laugh a screeching laugh, a booming laugh, he is the Vajra laugh, the mighty whole, he is the noble Sattva, Vajrasattva, the Vajra's sovereign lord, the highest bliss, the Vajra's wrathfulness, the highest joy, intoning hums of Vajra Humkara, which Vajra arrow serving as his weapon, his sword comprised of Vajras slashing all, upholding every Vajra, Vajra bearing, with just a single Vajra ending strife, with eyes like Vajra fire, truly dreadful, with hair that's like a Vajra set ablaze, immersion of the Vajra, great immersion, with eyes like Vajra's, eyes 100-fold, with Vajra hairs that sprout upon his body, his unique figure marked by Vajra hairs, with nails advancing Vajras at their tips, with skin that's solid like a Vajra's core. The splendid master, donning Vajra garlands, adorned with Vajra fashion ornaments, with booming voice, his laughter crying, ha ha, 6-syllable, producing Vajra rumbles, great Manjushri, sound supremely loud, a roar unique unto the threefold world, the voice that reaches every bound of space, preeminent among all voiced endowed. He is a being whose fully realized truth, reality, its peak and selflessness, supreme in propagating emptiness, unspoken, teaching both the vast and deep. The Dharma conch, emitting piercing sound, the Dharma gong with lasting resonance, arriving at unbounded liberation, he is the Dharma drum in all directions, without a form, with handsome form, supreme, replete with forms diverse, comprised of mind, with splendor shining through his every form, with all reflections under his control, invincible, renowned as Lord Supreme, the Lord Supreme who rules the threefold world, abiding on the noble's lofty path, great source of flourishing, the Dharma's crown, with youthful form, unique unto all worlds, the elder, senior, father of all beings, adorned with 32 auspicious marks, most beautiful, most handsome in all worlds, the teacher teaching mundane good and knowledge, the teacher to all beings, most confident, the world's most trusted guide, protector, savior, the refuge unsurpassed, the guardian, with rich enjoyments filling all of space, the knowledge ocean of omniscient beings, while smashing through the shell of ignorance and breaking through the cage of cyclic life, the thorough queller of intense affliction, arriving at samsara's opposite shore, his crown the crown of wisdom consecration, his ornaments comprising perfect Buddhas, the soother of the pain of threefold pain, the ender of the trio, ending free, arriving at the threefold liberation, completely free of every obscuration, having achieved equality sky-like, beyond the stains of every last affliction, aware of timelessness in all three times, most eminent among all sentient beings, the crown among those crowned with noble virtues, completely free from every kind of substrate, established firmly on the path of space, a splendid wish-fulfilling jewel in hand, the best of all that is precious, omnipresent, great wish-fulfilling tree, most plentiful, the greatest of all great auspicious vases, fulfilling the aims of living beings, a doer, an ally, most beloved to all creatures, aware of good and bad, aware of times, the omnipresent knower of the pledges, upholding pledges, conscious of occasions, awake to varied aptitudes in beings, with expertise in threefold liberation, with virtues, knowing dharma, auspicious, source of all auspiciousness, of all auspicious things the most auspicious, great splendor, glory, good, most prosperous, great reassurance, foremost celebration, great joyousness, the highest form of pleasure, abundance, reverence, action venerable, great happiness, the noble lord of splendor, the greatest granter of all wishes wished for, the highest source of refuge, refuge granting, the fearsome enemy of potent danger, alleviating danger in all forms, with tufts of hair, with plumes of luscious hair, with matted locks, cord-tied, five-faced, with 5 hair tufts, his head well crowned, his head adorned with garlands of 5 strands, upholding great observances, head shaven, the foremost of observances, chaste student, with great austerities perfected fully, he is the greatest bather, Gautama, a Brahmin, Brahma, knower of Brahman, arrived in full Brahman nirvana, awakening its branches, liberation, release, complete tranquility, quiescence, nirvana, peacefulness, tranquility, approaching graceful entry to nirvana, the culmination, ending pain and pleasure, the state devoid of passion, free from substrates, beyond defeat, unmanifest, unmatched, not making manifest, appearance free, pervasive, timeless, fully omnipresent, minute, beyond defilement, seed-free, unstained, devoid of passion, passionless, controlling humors, free from every illness, by nature most awakened, fully awake, omniscient, knowing everything, supreme, beyond reality as consciousness, pristine awareness, bearing non-dual form, beyond conceptualization, effort-free, acting as Buddhas do in every age, The Buddha, endless and beginningless, the Buddha at the start, devoid of sequence, with wisdom as his only eye, unstained, Tathagata, with wisdom as his body, the sovereign of all language, great debater, the king of discourse, best of orators, the best and greatest of communicators, the accessible, the line of speech, with universal vision, true delight, with fire garlands handsome to behold, the endless knot, most radiant, great lesser, with shining rays in hand providing light, the best and foremost of all great physicians, unequaled in removing thorns of pain, a tree providing medicine for all, a foe opposing every malady, the lovely crowning jewel of all three worlds, a cluster of the stars most glorious, the end of space in all its 10 directions, the hoisting height of Dharma's victory flag, sharing one large umbrella with the world, with love and kindness as his mandala, the celebrated lotus lord of dance, pervasive with his precious parasol, the blazing energy of all the Buddhas, with bodies fully shared by all the Buddhas, the highest union formed with all the Buddhas, a single teaching taught by all the Buddhas, most glorious with Vajraratna's blessing, the highest sovereign Lord of Sarvaratna, the King Supreme of Sarvalokeshvara, the Lord on high of Sarva Vajradhara, the quintessential mind of Sarva Buddha, residing in the mind of every Buddha, the greatest body born by every Buddha, the lovely speech enriched by every Buddha, the scorching brightness from the Vajra sun, with stainless lustres from the Vajra moon, great passion of the passionless and others, with multicolored rays that brightly blaze. The perfect Buddha's perfect Vajra posture, retaining for all beings the Buddha's Dharma, the Lotus Buddha's celebrated son, the knowledge treasurer for the omniscient, sovereign king, controlling all illusions, the foremost master of the Buddha's spells, called Vajratikshna, sword supremely mighty, completely pure, the highest syllable, atop pain's remedy, the Mahayana, the Vajradharma as his mighty weapon, the Vajra death renowned as Jina Jik, with Vajra thought aware of how things are, pervading all perfections perfectly, adorned by all the grounds of bodhisattvas, the selfless of pure phenomena, with lustres that is moonlight unto knowledge, with great endeavors as illusory nets, the foremost master ruling every tantra, endowed in full with every Vajra posture, completely furnished with all wisdom bodies, completely good with intellect supreme, the embryo of earth, sustaining beings, great embryo from which all Buddhas form, with emanation circles most diverse, the highest nature of all entities, supportive of the nature of all things, with goals for all, with dharmas under reason, supportive of the nature of all dharmas, with full awareness of phenomena, in but an instant as the wisest sage. With vivid realization of all dharmas, he is a sage, the greatest intellect, the vanquisher of hosts of evil spirits, unwavering, completely pure in nature, grasping the wakefulness of perfect Buddhas, the direct realization of all Buddhas. He is the flame of wisdom, luminous, the great fulfiller of desired aims, the purifier of all evil states, the greatest of all living beings, protector, the earnest liberator of all creatures, unrivaled knight in battle with afflictions, humiliating ignorance, his foe, celebrated mind of armorness, endowed with forms heroic and repulsive, the dancer moving to and fro his hundreds of lengthy arms while setting down his stride, the dancer spreading through the whole of space and filling it with shrimdas and red arms, stood tall atop the surface of the earth, the soul of just one foot pervading all, stood tall atop the summit of the world, the nail of his big toe suppressing all, whose aim is one, whose aim is non-dual dharma, whose aim is ultimate beyond destruction, whose mind consists in groups of consciousness, with varied objects, forms, and cognizance, amused with every object of existence, a mind of passion, loving emptiness, transcending worldly passion and the like, with great enjoyment for the threefold world, with fair complexion, with like pristine clouds, with radiance like beams from autumn's moons, with lustres revealing from morning suns, with nails emitting light of crimson red, whose handsome crown has sterling sapphires, whose hair has tips of sapphire deep blue, with glory from the light of his great jewel, adorned with emanation of the Buddhas, the shaker of 100 worldly realms, his strength the 4 miraculous powers, reality with mindfulness supreme, samadhi king of fourfold mindfulness, infused with scents from bloom on body's branches, a notion of Tathagata's virtues, with knowledge of the Eightfold Path's true way, with knowledge of the path of perfect Buddhas, the great attachment of all living beings, attachment-free, comparable to space. When springing up in every creature's mind, he is for every being as swift as mind, aware of all the aptitudes of beings, while captivating every creature's mind, with insight into aggregated natures, himself with full, pure five aggregates, atop the peak of every going forth, most skill in going forth in every way, established on all paths of going forth, the teacher of all forms of going forth, approving all becoming with 12 links, endowed with purity in all 12 forms. He's formed the way of fourfold noble truth, with realization of the eightfold knowledge, with meaning of the truth in 12-fold form, aware of suchness in its 16 forms, with true awakening in 20 forms, awakened fully, knowing all, supreme, dispatching countless sets of some 10 million embodiments of emanating Buddhas, the final realization of all moments, who knows each moment's object for all minds, and manifesting for the sake of beings, with means derived from varied vehicles, gone forth by way of all three vehicles, remaining in a single vehicle's truth, with purified activity spheres at heart, annihilating every karmic sphere, arrived atop dry land from flooding oceans, submerged from yoga's perilous dark grove, released from general, minor and complete afflictions and their latent tendencies, with insight, means and foremost empathy, achieving fruitful aims for living beings, abiding object-free through all perceptions, with consciousness as object, with cessation, with every being the object of his mind, with knowledge that's the mind of all the Buddhas, residing in the mind of every being, having become their mind's equality, and satisfying the mind of every being. He is for every being great inner joy, confusion-free regarding points of doctrine, completely free from error in all its forms, his thinking free from doubt, his object threefold, his object all three properties by nature, throughout 3 times the content of 5 skandhas, discerning clearly each and every moment, awakening in but a single moment, his basic nature equal to all Buddhas, with body bodiless, the best of bodies, with realization of the peak of bodies, displaying his form in every possible way. He is the greatest stone, the precious gem. What all the perfect Buddhas are to know, the Buddha's unsurpassed awakening, devoid of syllables, yet born of mantra, arising from great mantra's threefold family, the father to the meaning of all mantras, the greatest bindu, devoid of syllables, with 5 great syllables, great empty one, 100-syllable, devoid of bindu, endowed with every form yet free from form, supporting half of 16 bindus, transcending every grouping void of members, sustaining dhyana's 4th and final peak, aware of dhyana's each and every aspect, with knowledge of samadhi's types and families, the best of bodies, body of samadhi, the sovereign king of all enjoyment bodies, the best of bodies, emanation body, the heir to emanations of the Buddhas, with varied emanations everywhere, while benefiting all, however needed, the sovereign of the gods of gods, Asura Lord, the ruler of immortals, the king of deities, the gods, Guru, the highest lord of pramatas, Pramata, emerged from cyclic life's imposing forest, the single teacher, Guru for all beings, in every well-known world, in all directions, the eminent bestower of the Dharma, concealed by armor made of loving kindness, well shielded by the shield of empathy, with wisdom sword in hand, with bow and arrow, concluding war with ignorance and kleshas, the Mara's enemy and tamer, hero, eliminating threats from all 4 Maras, defeating all the armies of the Maras, a guide for living beings, the perfect Buddha, deserving homage, worthy of respect, deserving reverence, always honorable, deserving worship, worthy of regard, the highest Guru, ever venerable, traversing all 3 worlds in just one stride, his step extending past the bounds of space, with knowledge of the 3, well-versed and pure, with 6-fold higher knowledge and recall, the Bodhisattva and Mahasattva, with power great transcending worldly life, perfected by his excellence of insight, now unified with insight's highest nature, the whole, aware of self, aware of other, for fit for all, he is the best of man, surpassing all to which he is compared, supreme most lord of knowing and what is known, the foremost master of imparting dharma, who shows the meaning of the 4-fold seal, the most revered amongst all living beings, engaging going forth on all 3 paths, with glory purified by ultimate truth, most fortunate within the threefold world, the celebrated souls of all endowments, supreme among the glorious Manjushri, homage to you, boon granter, best of Vajras. O summit of excellence, homage to you. Homage to you, whose source is emptiness. O Buddha's awakening, homage to you. O passion of the Buddhas, homage to you. Desire of the Buddhas, I pay you homage. O love of every Buddha, homage to you. The joy of all the Buddhas, I pay you homage. O smile of every Buddha, homage to you. The laugh of all the Buddhas, I pay you homage. O speech of every Buddha, homage to you. The heart of all the Buddhas, I pay you homage. A reason from non-being, homage to you. Homage to you, a reason from the Buddhas. A reason from the sky, homage to you, born of pristine wisdom. O net of illusion, homage to you, the Buddha's spectacle. Homage to you, the everything of all. O body of wisdom, homage to you. Om Sarva Dharma Bhava Shabhava Vishuddha Vaja A Prakriti Parishuddha Sarva Dharma Yaduta Sarva Tathagata Jnana Kana Kaya Manjushri Parishuddhitam Upada Yeti Aha Sarva Tathagata Hridayam Hara Hara Om Hum Hri Bhagavan Jnana Murti Vagishvara Mahavacha Sarva Dharma Gaganamala Suparishuddha Dharma Dhatu Jnana Garva A. Then Vajradhara, ever glorious, most pleased and satisfied, with folded palms prostrated to the Buddha, noble God, the Blessed One, the Lord Tathagata, and with a host of other Vajrapanis of varied forms, the Lord of Guyakas, sublime protectors, noble wrathful kings, he then exclaimed this obeisance praise: Protector, we rejoice, how excellent what you have clearly taught. Through you, our lofty aim has been achieved, which leads to true and full awakening. And so the aims of helpless, mundane beings who seek the fruits of perfect liberation, just this thought is the Maya Chala, is the noble path that leads to excellence, with largeness, vastness, and profundity, with meaning great, achieving beings' aims. Just this comprises every Buddha's sphere. Just this is taught by all awakened ones. And now we can also recite the long life prayer, the swift return prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche that was composed by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Trying to create more causes for Rinpoche to come back soon. Peerless teacher and assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratyekya Buddhas, victorious law song, father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now, holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice. You are the armor of patience that is never discouraged, incomparable venerable Guru. To you I make request. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and from other living beings, you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss! Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessing of the ocean of the three jewels, and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. We can also pray for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, for His Holiness to remain for a long time with us on this planet, continue to teach us, in a healthy body, and for all His holy wishes to be accomplished effortlessly. Incomparably kind and supreme Tenzin Gyatso, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, may you have a long life and all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. We can also dedicate the merits that we have accumulated by engaging in this practice, so that we may soon, very soon, achieve the state of perfect awakening in order to guide all sentient beings without exception. May the precious minds of renunciation, bodhicitta, and the wisdom realizing emptiness that have not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen never diminish but increase forevermore. Finally, due to all the merits of all Buddhas and all sentient beings of the three times, may all the wars that are happening around the world immediately come to an end. May there be no new war, may there be no famine, may there be no natural disaster, catastrophes of the elements, may there be no financial crisis, may there be no epidemic. May peace and harmony prevail in everybody's hearts and in everybody's lives. Thank you very much for joining this evening, and we will see you on Saturday. Saturday at 2 p.m. We'll organize sutra writing here at Tushita, only in person, not on Zoom. So this is an activity that is very suitable if you have children or even teenagers, to offer colors to the Prajnaparamita Sutra, the short version, the Heart Sutra, the Essence of Wisdom Sutra. So you're welcome to join us with your own, colored pens and so forth. Otherwise, we'll also have some here for you to use. And great activity also for adults, but of course it's accessible for children. Maybe contrary to some meditations and teachings that might be a little bit difficult for children, this one is something children can easily do. And the Lama Zopa Rinpoche says that writing even just one letter or one syllable of this sutra creates so much merit for one to transform the mind, so much potential for mind transformation. So please join us on Saturday at 2 p.m. And as usual, Monday to Friday, we have the guided meditations. And this week, only happening on Zoom because our resident volunteer is away this week. So you're welcome to join us Monday to Friday, 9 a.m., same Zoom. Thank you very much. Have a good night and see you soon. Bye-bye.